As it plays on your page. That's
And we are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Saturday. It's been a little while since Kitty and I have come together to play. I think with all this friggin' energy we have going on, I have not been doing my usual lives. I've only started doing them again in the past week. So some of you have seen me back here doing my thing. And Kitty and I are just getting together to play again. So for all of you out there, let us know that you are here. I am going to make sure that I am streaming where I need to be streaming. So give me a second just to click on the Action Facebook page. We'll start there.
And I have just shared this to Intuition of the Soul, so I'm going to double check to see that it's
Perfect.
playing there, and it is.
Perfect. And I'm also sharing this on my private group, Holistic Fitness is More Than a Workout, so they can see it as well. And then it's streaming on YouTube and Twitter, also known as X. It's streaming there as well. And of course, I will go and make sure I am on there. Meanwhile, Kitty, just introduce yourself, share the title of our topic for the night, and then we're going to dive into a great conversation.
I have so much information too. I'm Kitty Budewig Foss, storytelling astrologer, reader of the stars. I am co-owner of Intuition of the Soul, where we are actually streaming right now, which is a private Facebook group where you can explore all things spiritual. And Joanne, if it's all right, I want to send out an invitation on Monday at you can sign on at 1:50. I am going to be broadcasting a global meditation that you can sign up for privately. The links are actually on that page, but I'm inviting anybody who wants to come join us on the Zoom to watch the meditation and meditate not only together with the globe, but also on Intuition of the Soul. So, and the links are all already on Intuition of the Soul. So, pretty exciting.
Perfect. So excellent. And Kitty, if you wouldn't mind clicking on to my YouTube channel as you're live here with us, and just hit that thumbs up button to share from there as well, because I'm really trying to grow my YouTube channel. So for anyone who is watching from YouTube, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And all you gotta do is also hit that thumbs up. Let me know that you're liking what I'm sharing, and of course, share it out. Sharing is caring, as Bonnie used to say, or Bonnie may still say it. I just don't watch it anymore because my daughter's going to be 30 years old. So anyway.
Joanne, on YouTube, what channel am I looking for?
Oh, if you go back to my my page again, my private my public page where we shared the StreamYard link from, there's a link there as well for my YouTube channel. Just in case anybody else is looking for my YouTube channel, I posted maybe 2 posts down on my Facebook page. That YouTube channel is there.
All right. Shared it.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So yes. So now that we got what's called all the back end stuff done, because that's really what it is, the back end stuff. Making sure all of that is done, and whoever needs to see this will be seeing it. And of course, we do know it is Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, that some of you may be doing something else, maybe preparing for the solar eclipse, because there seems to be a lot of people who have to prepare for the solar eclipse, and you may be one of them. So if that is the case, you can always catch this on the replay, which will be on my YouTube channel. It's always going to be there. You can always catch it anytime you want to catch it. That's the fun thing about all this. So our title for tonight, interesting title, I have to say, in regards to, I don't have it in front of me and I lost it somewhere.
Out of the nest we go, time shift.
Yes, yes. Talk to me about that time shift.
Well, it's different timelines, it's ascension, whatever you want to call it. It's an activation. It's a shift in the reality. So therefore, we'll shift our time, our different versions of time is our constraint. That's why it's time shift. And perhaps we're doing some really letting go of it, because we are being pushed out of the nest. It is time to fly. It is a mass global awakening. And it's so many different things that ultimately none of us know. You know, as people, we can talk about what we think, we can talk about what resonates with us, and that just may be our personal aspect that we're holding, or it may be more global. And of course, it's always a little more global. It is an astronomical, astrological event. It is also not just astrological, it is astronomy as well, and it is because of comets, and we're starting to see. I mean, New York had an earthquake. Let's face it. Okay, we know things are being that there's geography, geothermal. Maine just got absolutely slammed with a very late nor'easter. As a matter of fact, many people who are planning to go to Maine to see the total solar eclipse are being asked. There are no hotel rooms. There are lots of people out of power, and there are a lot of utility workers. Some of the colleges have set up so utility workers have another place to stay. So the hotels are pretty full. So if that was your plan, you might consider a different state at this point. So just all of these things happening, unwinding right now with this solar eclipse. And we have everything from the doomsday machine, folks, second coming, and all of those. I don't think the doomsday machine, but perhaps when we say doomsday, it means life changes as we seen it, understand it. And that's what the time shift is. It is a global shift.
Yes, yes. And with the shift, I want all of you to keep in mind, because it's definitely something that I am experiencing. I've been chatting about it for some time now, is the physical symptom ascensions. Many of us, the more people I talk to, the more people that are raising their hand to this and are recognizing and understanding that there are physical symptoms that's coming along with this process that we are going through, because we are shifting our vibration. Our DNA is changing. So because our DNA is changing, everything internally is changing, which then means our chakra system is being shocked. Theoretically speaking.
It is a blip in the electronic. Think about a power surge, electronic shift. It is energy.
Yes. So if you are feeling physical symptoms, if you are feeling more tired than usual, which I think that's a really big one for many of us, where we could be feeling energetic, and this is my experience anyway, feeling energetic like throughout the day, and then randomly out of nowhere, it's like, oh my God, someone took the battery out of me. And I literally just went, boom. Like,
I know. I was talking to her 2 nights ago, and she said, I left my house like the Energizer Bunny. I've gotten 2 blocks down the road, and all of a sudden I'm like, I got to go back home.
Yeah, I literally felt like someone took the batteries out of me. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, what happened? And I had to go shopping. I had to go to the supermarket. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be an easy trip, because I was tired. I was literally walking at a snail's pace. I was like, oh, I have to get in and out. I need to get in and out. I couldn't walk fast enough. I was like, this is crazy. And then yesterday, my husband was on a low vibration side, and I was vibrant. And today I woke up and I was just like, what the frick? I was like, I couldn't wait to go back to lay down. I was like, I finished my 2 clients for the morning, and I just said to my husband, I was like, I'm going back to bed. He's like, oh, are we? I'm like, we're watching a movie. I'm like, I think you'll be watching a movie. My eyelids are going to be closed. I have to go to sleep. I was so tired. And in addition to the tiredness, which I'm actually experiencing, is the physical symptoms. I don't know if any of you have been following me. At the beginning of this year, I was dealing with a shoulder issue from just doing too much packing and a lot of repetition of moving. Well, that's flared up again. And then I do have an issue with my right hip that's been bothering me. My what do they call that? My oh my God, words are not coming to me today very well. My hip dysplasia. There we go. My hip dysplasia is acting up as well. So yeah, my whole right side of my body is like, what the hell is going on? So if any of you are feeling any symptoms, and those of you who are watching, if you are experiencing symptoms and you don't mind sharing them, put them in the comments. I would love to know what you're experiencing.
my comment is there's not enough sage in the world at the moment.
Yes, yes. It's like, yes, what are we doing so we can feel better? Because we're going to experience this. This is just what it is. I like to call it, it's a spiritual calibration. We are all calibrating. We are all literally going to get to the other side of this. We're going to definitely be vibing at a much different vibration, and it's going to feel amazing.
And let's talk about that for a minute. This is not, okay, so you guys are going to watch a smoke screen come across now. This is not, I get through the 8th and I Superman. This is an activation, and all of this. Wow, I guess we had some clearing we needed to do. Holy cow! And this is an activation that has amazing tendrils, depth to it, and it's unfolding through the month of April. But this particular period from April 8th till really the 21st of April is huge. It's you know when you clean your drunk drawer.
Yes. I like to refer it to as it's a birth, it's a pregnancy, it's a 9-month process. Think about it.
Okay, I mean, we're clearing.
Yes,
I set my fire alarm off.
We think about it in reference to the solar eclipse. The new moon or full moon by itself is an intense activity. When it's a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse energy, it's a moon that's literally on steroids, and that's exactly the energy we have. And then in the middle of it all, we have this retrograde going on with Mercury, which again creates more and more energy through our body system. So no, just because April 8th comes and goes, and we all get to witness the eclipse and whatever not, and we're all gonna think we're gonna be free at that time and ready to go. Slow your roll, as I like to say, because we're not out of the woods just yet. We literally are gonna go through this process, and you will hopefully get to recognize your ascensions that you're experiencing as we move through the rest of this year. You'll get to see those amazing changes from all the work you've been doing up until this point, because that's what it is. It's the spiritual work. Just in case you're wondering what I mean by the work, the spiritual work. During the behind the scenes, what do you need to release? It's not just about cleaning out your junk drawer. It's about cleaning out your mindset, shifting your mindset, and then being open to the possibilities of what is beyond what we can see at this point in time. And allowing yourself that beautiful gift to open, known as your spiritual gift, your psychic abilities, as I like to call it. And just playing into that energy. So yeah, a time change is definitely going to be taking place. And we
are moving out of the nest. Bye.
Yeah.
It is a time shift. It is time to shift, really, is another way to do it. Yes, as Sue said.
Yes, I just read that, yes.
Right. Like I said, it's either doomsday, it's the second coming, it's, there's a lot of people watching the sky. There's a common turn. There is all of this new seismic activities happening, weather patterns, volcanic, just tsunamis. And we are, and it's very, very physical. As Joanne says, as I keep saying, this is a physicalness, some awakening in the DNA, some interruption in the electric current, a recalibration of the current of our human energy. There are so many things just on that day around the time of this total solar eclipse that are the alignment in the sky is amazing. The 7 planets that are aligned in a diagonal in the sky. There is a conjunction in Pisces between our planets of limitations and our will that wants to push us not only out of the nest, but open things up, focus that flow. There's a loose, this is an interesting thing about manifesting with this moon. If you're going to manifest, set your intentions before the eclipse, because when the moon is in front of the sun, it's very emotional. It's very much, that's the charge. And so the manifestation takes on a more there's a lot of people say don't manifest at all on this new moon. Just let, and I'm kind of with this group, just let the beginnings come. And before they happen, ask for in the highest possible understanding for my best good and for the evolution of mankind. All of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Kitty, and a lot of people are saying this too. Now, I'm one to say, it's a new moon. It's a great time for manifesting, sitting, journaling. This moon, I would skip it altogether. And if you did want to manifest, I would not do it now at this point, because today is Saturday. We are literally 48 hours from the actual event, and I would actually wait 3 days afterwards. So the new moon's on the 8th or 9, 10, 11. I would, if you're gonna do your manifestation, I would wait until the 12th to do your manifestation work. I would definitely not do it now. I would wait till afterwards, because you're going to be too emotionally charged up, and you may not be 100% invested in what it is you're looking to really bring in, because your emotions are going to be attached to it.
Because there's an activation. So for me, I'm still going to do my manifesting, but I'm going to do it before we hit the Aries energy for the moon. But it's about new beginnings. It's about the dreams of the new beginnings, because this is the song Begin the Begin. This is the beginning. This is Aries. This is the solar eclipse. This is a common turn. This is the North Node and Chiron, all in Aries, along with Mercury retrograde. We have Eris in conjunction with the moon. Eris is the female warrior, and her job is to take what has been astray, which has gone off course, and bring it back. And she is also part of this conjunction that is coming in on this day. And we have Neptune in a loose conjunction with coming into this. So spirit is all a part of this. It is, we have the North Node and Chiron being the wounded healer, the alchemist, the shaman. And in Aries, it's about taking masks off and everybody accepting who they are, the masks off, the rose-colored glasses off, and see things for who they are. And yet this Aries is about without judgment. It's about letting go of our separateness, integrating this time, the inner warrior, if you will, the inner turn, which is a little different for Pisces.
Yes. I want to give a shout out. We have a lot of people tonight with us. I want to say hello to Sue, who popped in, as we already know. She's been commenting. We have Ann with us tonight as well. So thank you for being here. Rebecca Nahum, she's one of my childhood friends, by the way. Loving that she's here with us tonight. And then we also have Cheryl with us tonight, and Linda as well. So give a shout out to all of you for being with us. I know that on a Saturday night, there's something else you could very well be doing, but you're choosing to be here to play with Kitty and I, and of course gain insight to all of this energy that we are all feeling. And as I mentioned earlier, before some of you popped in, if you are feeling any physical symptoms, ascension showing up, please put it in the comments. I'm kind of curious to know what it is you're feeling. And my analytical Aquarius brain may be doing some evaluating to see where you're feeling, what you're feeling, or what chakra it's associated with. Because again, we got to keep in mind that when we are experiencing our physical symptoms, they're associated with a chakra point. And I'm just going to put it out there right off the bat. Aries is associated with the head and the solar plexus. So if anybody is experiencing headaches or third eye pressure, that's that Aries energy. And again, that's also about that activation that we're all experiencing in regards to opening up our crown so we can get these downloads. The crown is expanding again, so we can all move into that intuition. And of course, the solar plex is being able to digest, and I don't mean by food necessarily, but food too, digest all this information that is coming in. And sometimes it could be coming in really, really, really quickly, and that could be causing the digestion issue. I know yesterday I spoke to a handful of people, and they all had one thing in common, and they said they were spending their entire day in the bathroom. It was just coming out of them, coming out of them, coming out of them. And that's a part of it too, because again, we're releasing whatever we no longer need in our system. So there's nothing to really be afraid of or worried about, or like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? you're just going through an ascension that
Well,
is going
we
to
are,
help you get to that next level.
we are actually lighting up all of the chakras.
Yeah.
Saturn is Capricorn. That's our root chakra. We
Yes.
have Mercury, our communication, our higher Taurus, our higher heart. We have our throat. Everything is in some Venus. We have some kind of conjunction all the way through. It is perhaps it's yeah, perhaps it's a Kundalini awakening for the entire Earth.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Exactly. And it's definitely a wake up call. And I had said this to Kitty yesterday, as we experienced in New York City, our first, at least to my awareness, our first earthquake, 4.8 earthquake, which I'm going to talk about that number in just a little while. But as I said to Kitty yesterday, when I was asleep in the process of this happening, I was literally woken up by my bed shaking. And the first words out of my mouth for the first time ever in my life when I first wake up was like, what the F? And it wasn't the F word. I didn't say F. I used the whole word, but since we're live here, I will not. And I was just like, what's going on? And everything was shaking. And I said to Kitty, well, when we think about the 5 pillars of health and wellness and our frequency upgrades, shaking is a part of it, where we have to shake our bodies out. And maybe not enough of us are doing our work, so the universe steps in and shake us up. And that's exactly what happened. Everybody was shaking yesterday. Everybody. Again, another thing where we come together. I love the awareness that we all have at the same time. Many of us, that was like the news yesterday. That's all we talked about. Because we were all focused on that energy. For those of us who are aware, I love the people who were not in New York City and they were seeing on Facebook like, what's going on? What? And then of course they start reaching out. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? It's like the awareness is there. And that's I think is the fun part of all of this, is because so many of us, like the eclipse season, like Monday, so many of us are focused on that energy. And because so many of us are focused on that energy, it literally helps all of us move into that higher frequency, because all of us are there. Now, of course, if we can all be in that same mind frame of it being this magnificent, magical, powerful, exciting energy that Kitty and I are on, and most of you are on, as opposed to all the other stuff that people are talking about, like, oh, you don't want to look at this, you want to stay away from it, you don't want to see it. Why not? Why not? We're going to feel it. Holy crap, we're going to feel it. So yes.
Well, you have Rebecca talking about,
Yes.
Rebecca, I have had a shortness of breath, but it hasn't been a shortness of breath. And one of the way I've been describing it is, it's like having anxiety. When I've had anxiety, the sensation of it, but without the thought pattern, which has been a really interesting piece, because my brain has been trying to make sense. And I've been doing a lot of, this is the energy. Let's just sit with this for now so that I can clear my head. And it is such a physical time as we look at supporting our chakras. We look at getting out. This is a time of, what's so weird, inaction. It is a time to sit with where we are, really take a true look at where we are, not where we want to go, not where we want to be, in this moment, and just go, okay. And so, I see that she says, what do you do? I have been learning to just feel it. It's just me now. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving, but what I do is I sit there and I feel it, kind of tune into it, and I breathe. And which is so funny to say, and the way it comes off is a shortness of breath. It's just, and then and I don't live in anticipation for the next time I feel it. That is something I have learned. You know what? When it comes up again, I'll deal with it when it comes up again. And getting outside for me, grounding, being outside, walking, getting a rhythm, a pace. It is, we also have this Devil's Comet, which, by the way, comes the closest right after the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus on the 20th at 10:27 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, before you dive into that, I just want to respond to some of what Rebecca is mentioning, because there may be a lot of others that are also going through this in regards to the worrying, the depression, the overwhelmness. My suggestion would be, in regards to this, when this is happening, sit down and write down on paper what it is you're worried about. Because I think if you can face the worry or whatever it is you're worried about, and then really ask yourself, what is the probability of whatever that is you're worried about really happening? And once you write it and you get clear to it, and then you really understand your why to why you're worried about it, it may actually help you address it, as opposed to not understanding what it is you're worried about. And I think that's the big thing. Everyone uses the words, oh my God, I'm so worried, I'm anxious, or depressed for that matter. What are you worried about? And write it down, become clear about what the worry is. And then really get clear to asking yourself, what is the probability of whatever it is you're worried about really happening? And 99% of the time, and we've all heard this expression, 99% of the time, whatever it is we're really worried about doesn't never really happen. So all this energy that we're putting onto something that probably isn't going to happen. But before we can get to that point, I definitely recommend for Rebecca and anybody else who may be feeling this, is write down on paper. What is it you're really worried about? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the word worry? Write it down. And then sit with that and then ask yourself, what is the probability of that really happening? And write it down. If it's something that might have happened in the past, because when we think about anxiety in itself, the definition of anxiety is worrying about something that has happened in your past or has happened to somebody, and that you're afraid that it's going to happen to you or it's going to happen to you again. And that's the definition of anxiety, is something that has happened either to you or somebody else, and you're afraid it's going to happen again. So think about that and just analyze, evaluate, and see if that can help you decrease your ability, your worry, your sense of anxiety and the state of depression. And just sit with that. For Rebecca and anybody else that may be experiencing this, I also want to give a shout out. I saw that Rosie Asthesis popped in. I don't know if she's still with us, but I want to say hi to her as well. So I'm loving, she's afraid of dying. She's afraid of dying. That's what she said.
I saw that. And I understand that, especially recently with this shortness of breath. And for me, and this is just me, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. These are all suggestions. Like, for me, sometimes writing is too much work. But that's just me. I do acknowledge in the moment that when I am worrying, I'm not living right now. And so when I worry about dying, I'm forgetting how to live. I'm not living. And so when I stop myself and say, okay, this isn't really helping me, but I'm being kind to myself. This isn't really helping me. So what can I do that's living right now? Because if I die in 10 minutes, I've spent 9 of them worrying about dying. So that is, for me, that helps me shift. So what can I do that's living right now?
Yes.
And I like Joanne's suggestion, maybe sit down and say, this is what I'm worried about. Let me put it up on the shelf for a minute. And what's the next right thing for me to do? The next thing to live, the next thing to live. And,
yes. And there's a few great.
I don't have any control over it, by the way, anyway. So.
Exactly. There's many mentors out there. Louise Hay, this gentleman by the name of Bahar. He's an actual Bahar, Bohar. He's a channeler. He speaks of this, and in fact, someone asked him that same question in regards to, they would say to him that they're worried, and he asked, "What are you worried about?" And he goes, "Dying." And he goes, well, reality of it all is we're all going to die, and we die every day. Every single day we die. A piece of us, a layer of us, a version of us dies every single day. But if you spend all your time sitting in worry of dying, you're missing out on all the amazing, amazing opportunities that you're having right now in this very moment of life.
And so Bashar talks about, here we go again. I guess he wants to clear. And Bashar talks about, if you want to know how to get out of worrying, follow the excitement. What are you excited
Exactly.
about? And
Exactly.
follow
So
the next piece of excitement.
exactly. Go on a treasury hunt and see if you can focus your attention. And this is for Rebecca and everybody else, and myself and Kitty. See if you can focus your attention on excitement. Think about that. What brings me excitement?
Curiosity, excitement, joy. They
Yeah.
work together. Yeah.
And see if you can focus on that, because if you're focusing on excitement, guess what? You're not focused on worry. And that takes away from the worry. And then if you find yourself going back to the worry, come back to the excitement. And then if you find yourself falling back to the worry, then you might have to ask yourself, well, why am I so bent on wanting to see the worry as opposed to focusing on
Well,
the
and
excitement?
when you're looking at excitement, you're in the present. When you're
Yes,
worrying, you're either in the past or the future.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
you're missing what's happening now. And this is part, I'm going to go back to the energy now. This
Yes.
is part of, we have this comet called the Devil's Comet, or the dragon's, the mother dragon. And if you look at it, it actually looks like the South Node glyph in astrology, and it has horns. So it's both Mercury and Taurus energy. And so the South Node right now is in an energy of, what have I bought into? What rules have I given myself? What guidelines do I follow that I thought were going to bring me balance and harmony and beauty, and actually don't do that? I am, when I am stressed out about somebody else, something else happening, I somehow have thought that if I put my energy towards it, it'll keep them safe. Well, that's not real. So my only energy I can influence is me. And the more time I take care of being the best version of me, tapping into the best version of me, because as Joanne said, we're always the best version of ourselves, then I don't have time to worry. I don't have time to get angry. I don't have time to judge and separate, because that's a full-time job for me. And in this devil's horned comet is this energy, a messenger energy of looking at humanity's endless journey between good, evil, sovereignty, and freedom. But what it is, it's about the danger of polarization. And we're moving away from that black and white. How do I integrate and continue to move? Joanne, remember we talked for a long time about how Mars spent all that time in Gemini, all that
Yes.
time in experiencing how to hold polarity, how to stay in the middle. And it did it to get us ready for this time. How do I align my will to integrate, to not have to label everything and factionalize everything, to see it as whether I'm putting the pieces together of the bigger piece, or I'm taking the bigger and taking it apart. How do I stay in this whole other energy that's out there? And this is where Eris comes in. Eris is when things have gone too far, gone in the wrong direction. It's helped bringing us back to, how do we take this discourse and instead be in truth and what our soul is asking us to activate? That's why so much of this alignment is spectacular. The water, the mountains, the bigger picture are all going to be affected. All the chakras, all of the energy, all the planet is affected that's on Earth right now with this.
Yes. And what I want to bring back to the table is our number of 4.8. And I had posted this earlier today. I posted it yesterday as well. So when we think about this 4.8 earthquake we experienced yesterday, the shaking of the world, as I always like to say, when we are not willing to do the work ourselves, the universe will step in and force us to do the work. And many of us needed a shaking, because there's too many of us who are sleepwalking. So perhaps now we're all awake, hopefully. Anyway, so that 4.8 earthquake, if we think about the date of our solar new moon eclipse on April 8th, 4/8. Hello, people. Has anybody paid attention to the numbers here? 4.8. Let's break this down a little bit. based on numerology, the thing I love to do, when we think about that 4 energy, it is about your foundation. It is your structure. It's your body. And along with our body, yes, it's our home and it's the work that we're here to do. The work that we are here to do, everything's attached to each other. It's about the balance. It's about the stability. It's about your foundation. It's also about the work that you're here to do. Now, I spoke a lot about this past Thursday on my TV show, Joanne's Healing Within. If you didn't catch it, I invite you to go back and catch it. I spoke about that 4 energy that any of us, and I'm in this category, who carries the number 4 in their birthday, whether it's the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or 31st, or you're born the 4th month, which is April, or you're born on Thursday, which is the 4th day out of the week, or the year when you add up the year's number that adds to a 4, or your life path number is a 4. We carry this unconscious belief that everything has to be hard, that we have to work triple the amount of energy to get anything we want to get. However, a part of this amazing energy that we are moving into this new timeline is that we can clear that energy. We don't have to work hard. We can be open to this energy of, like, if Kitty came, rung my email or text me and said, "Hey, Joanne, I have this opportunity for you, and it takes place this day and this day. And I'm inviting you to do it." My old version of me would be like, "Oh my God, that's just too easy. I have to work harder for this. What can I do to work harder so I can make this happen?" The newer version of me says, "Yes, I'm right there, because I do not have to work hard to get something anymore." And I'm inviting every one of you who carry that 4 energy, again, in all the different areas I mentioned, that this is your time to clear that thought process of thinking that you have to work really hard to get whatever it is you want. You don't. Everything's going to get easier and easier and easier through this number. Now let's move on to number 8, which is what the energy of this year is, the universal energy of 8. This is about harmony and balance. In order to bring harmony and balance into your energy field, you have to focus on harmony and balance. If you're focusing on anything other than harmony and balance, then you're going to continue to see anything other than harmony and balance. So you have to redirect your focus. Everything's about redirecting your focus. If need be, bring it inside. And again, that 8 energy, when you flip it on its side, is that infinity. It's also about balance. The achievements, the success, the letting the old out, bringing the new in, which is what this new
Yes,
moon
because it's so much with the transformation number.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Then we add those 2 numbers up. 4 and 8 is 12. Now, 12 is a portal that allows us that veil being thin between the spirit realm and the human realm. And it gives us this opportunity to be independent, to be the leader, to be the boss, so to speak, to be your own person, that Aries energy. Take the mask off. Be who you are. Be as authentic as you want to be. And don't show up the way you think somebody wants you to be. Show up the way you want to be. That's that 1. That 2 energy is all about your relationships, your partnerships, your physical body, and also all your contracts, which is very much associated with our Taurus energy, which is, again, that physical body connection. Now, when we add the 1 and 2 up, we get our 3, which is about the collaborations. It's about how we communicate. What is it we're saying? What do we want to create as a collaborating team? Every one of us are here to work together. We're not doing this by ourselves anymore. There's absolutely no such thing as competition. There may be millions of astrologers, millions of numerologists, there may be millions of Reiki practitioners, but every one of us brings a different flavor to the table. And if we work together, we will expand at a much faster pace than doing it by ourselves. And that 3 energy is a vibration of that Mercury retrograde, giving us this opportunity to review and reflect the old and bring in these new. So when we think that 12, and it's also, again, Pisces energy. All this energy in Pisces, the list goes on and goes on and goes on.
And Pisces being in charge of uncovering, and that's an important piece with this 3. It's experiencing this uncovering of who we are. It is about the collective. I keep going back to the best version when I tap into the expanded version of me, I hold that for the we. And it's, it's where you're putting your energy right now. If you see, I think it's amazing. And of course, Spirit did it. New York City, whenever anything happens to New York City, we all hear about it. First of all, at beyond New York hearing about it, because it's our media capital. And because it's the media capital and the people who are in it are experiencing it, we hear about it. And there's no accident. It's 4/8. It's having us turn and look at this solar eclipse. Now, I'm going to ask you out there, yes, you can get into the fear. Yes, you can get into the trauma, or you can get into the excitement. Follow the excitement. What amazing activation could this be? All of those dreams I wish for mankind that I'll say, wouldn't it be great if I can actually put them out there? If people get along, if people are kind, if all of those things, why not align with that level of activation versus hellfire and brimstone? Whatever reality you bring to this is what gets magnified. And so, I urge you, don't be scared, be excited, be inquisitive, be curious. What is this? And then get in the present and let it unfold.
Yes. I also want to bring up a few numbers for you, a few dates for you. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dates. So write them down. And I'm just gonna give you one as an example, but I'm gonna give you all of them. These dates, if you write these dates down, forward and backwards, they read the same way. So for example, 420.
Palindrome.
Excuse me?
A word that does that is called a palindrome.
Yes. 420, 2024. And if you read it the other way, it's going to read the same thing. We have 10 dates like this. This is the first time, I think they're saying in, over something like 100 years that we've had this opportunity of seeing our numbers read the exact same way. So from 420, 421, right through 429, write down all those dates. These are powerful dates. Now, I have not actually done the numbers on them to see what the numbers actually are based on the energy of the day. And but these are powerful, powerful dates. Again, portals. They're portals. Again, if you're not familiar with the word portal, a portal is when the veil between the spiritual realm and the human realm is dim. I'm going to mute myself 1 second because I'm going to have a cough attack, so hold on.
So while she's muting herself, it's amazing looking at these dates because, of course, 420 is the big conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus. And when Jupiter and Uranus every 11 to 11 and a half years are conjunct exactly, big things happen. Things like we walk on the moon, Dolly the sheep was cloned, WikiLeaks happened, and depending what the energy is in. And this energy is in Taurus. Our body, our values, are very much our home and what's around us, our food, our physical earth. So, all right, Joanna, you done with your coughing fit?
Yes, I'm back. I figured while you were doing that, I'm going to write out the numbers to see what they all add up to or try to get to.
And that comet, by the way, that is in Aries with the horns like Taurus, all right, passes the closest within 4 hours. There's that 4 again of when that conjunction happens. The closest it comes to Earth, and then it won't be back again until I think it's 2094 or something like that. So
yes. So our numbers, just to give you an idea, guys, 420, when you add the whole number up, 420 plus the 2024, works out to be a 5. Now, for those of you who do not know about numerology, number 5 is about massive change. Freedom, change, the unpredictability of things that will take place that day. Now, I use the word unpredictability as, if that word scares you, then use the word surprise. The surprises that show up that day are going to be life-changing because this is where we are going with this. This is a life-changing event. Who we were today is not who we're going to be tomorrow. We are a different version of ourselves. And it's time we start to embrace this new energy, this new earth that we're in. Then, of course, every date thereafter, how numerology works, the next day after that holds a 6 energy. So on 421, it could be a really great day for all of us to be in our body, to really allow yourself to move your body in such a way that you can shake it up, you can strengthen it, and allow that's your system just be cleared, because that 6 vibration is associated with Virgo's energy. And Virgo is a big player due to that Pluto transit in Aquarius. It's tapping into our 6th house. And then we have 422. Now let's talk about that day just for a quick second. Besides the fact that it's in this whole lineup, it's the 22nd. Now, 22 is a master number. This is a day where we focus on what can we build as the master builder. Every one of us are a builder. Every one of us are building something. The overall day, energy for that day is 7. So just as the day before was a day for moving your body, on the 22nd is a day to quiet yourself down. Go within. Check in with spirit. Check in with a loved one that's crossed over. One of the beautiful things about this energy that we're in right now is that we have access to communicating with our loved ones. Our loved ones are going to be right there. Have conversations with them. Invite them to dinner. Invite them to lunch. And have that conversation. Ask the questions you want to know answers to on that 7th day. The 23rd is to an 8 energy, which is going to match the universal energy of the year. So that's a big energy too. It's a day to bring more harmony into your day. What does that look like for you? How do you draw in harmony into your day? And then the 24th is our 9 energy. A great day to work on, again, letting things go, transforming, and be aware of your dreams during that day. Your sleep dreams and your daydreams. Be aware, because the energy holds messages in our dreams as well. And a good day for truth telling. So be honest to yourself. No storytelling on that day. Honesty is key. And then, of course, we're going to work down all the other numbers from that point on. Where the 25th, before we break it down to a single digit, that 7, 4 is 11. So that's another one of our master numbers. Before we add it up, that's a day where we do our master healing work. The overall energy is 2. So we're working on our partnerships again, our relationships with ourselves and others. The 26th overall is a 3, so a great day for conversation. Pick up the phone, call a friend, call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Have a nice, deep-hearted conversation, or again, talk to spirit. Get in the habit of talking to spirit. It's a great thing to do. The following day, the 27th, is our 4. So it's about your foundation again. It's about home, feeling at home. What makes you feel at home? What makes you feel warm and cozy, and how to bring more balance into your home. And then we have the 28th, we're back to our 5. More changes. And then last but not least, the 29th, which is also an 11, which is our 6 again. So we're back to our body system. So I'm loving this energy this whole week, that 2 weeks for that matter, that portal. And at that point, we've moved into Taurus energy at that point. So we've moved out of Aries, and now we're really into our physical body. Talk about that, Kitty, for us.
Well, because of that conjunction in that day, which are both planets in Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus on the 20th. That's that meeting of new technologies, the ideal of something, the chaos of that change with our expansion. That's why something very technological. And in Taurus, it's going to be about Earth and our body, our DNA, our very basic structures that particular day. And it's interesting, from the 8th until that time on the 20th, there is a lot of energy around sorting, a lot of energy around electrifying energetically, and you'll be letting go of things that it isn't, oh, I don't need this anymore, it's not serving me. There's not a lot of charge around it, a lot of emotions, because things that have shifted, it will be very apparent to let them go. it's like something you've ever held on to and you pick it up a half a year later and go, now, why did I keep this? That level of detachment to it. And as we go into this Taurus season is in alignment with not only stabilizing, but stabilizing with great speed now that and this evolution that got activated. It's funny, Joanne, because I'm looking at the time. I pulled cards. You can't make this stuff up, man. The cards that I pulled. Do you have something you want to finish first?
Yes, I just want to throw out there because I'm looking at my numbers and I always double check my numbers just so none of you get confused out there because yes, sometimes my brain doesn't work so well. When we're looking at the numbers from April 25th down, my numbers are a little off, people. So April 25th, the overall energy is a 10. And all the numbers are going to follow from that point. We have 10, we have 2, we have 3, 4, 5. Double check your numbers, people. The first set of numbers I have correct. But then when I started just doing the math in my head and not on paper, that's where things got a little messy. So my apologies for the incorrect information there. But you get the drift of it all, guys. Always when in numerology, if you want the overall energy for the day, just add up all the numbers and then bring it down to a single digit. If it happens to be 11 or 22, just keep it that way. But all the other numbers take down to a single digit. So go ahead, Kitty.
Oh, well, and so the first card I pulled out is the third master number, 33. And it's called Translucent, and it's the love of the darkness. Now, how appropriate is that for the solar eclipse? And yes. When you read about it, it talks about the archetype of Persephone. Persephone was given to Hades in the underworld, but she's allowed to come out every spring for this new beginning. And it's like the Fool in the tarot cards, letting the bird preparing to plunge into the cracked earth, and it says, come this way, go into the darkness to transport, to transcend, to transform, and understand that there is quiet in the darkness. Take the time to fall in love with the darkness, for what we don't know. And the card that came out with it, you can't make this stuff up, is 11.
Oh, wow.
Flashover. And it's all in your head. And when this card comes, especially in combination with this deep into the darkness, a light, busy mind can be beautiful, but in order to reveal its best, you must go into the darkness. You must let it be over your head, and releasing all of these rules and things that get in there to let the true energy and profound insight happen. Wow. Those are the cards for the eclipse.
Love that. Let's see what my cards have to. Oh, there goes one. Oh, there goes two. Of course, this one card always has to come out and play. It's in reverse. Patience. Patience. The thing we all have to practice is, again, as Kitty said earlier, I said it too, once we get past this new moon solar eclipse, it doesn't just end there. There's this process that we're going to go through. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Whatever ascensions you are experiencing, take it slow. And then be patient with others as well, because you really don't know unless you're nosy like me. Like, I'll share a funny story. I was in the bank yesterday, and I walked into the bank. I got to the teller, and I say to her, "So, did you feel the earthquake today?" And she goes, "Yes." "Did you?" I was like, "Yes." And we started chatting, and the teller next to her, and the teller next to her, and the people on the line behind me, we were all in this conversation. We all forgot we were at the bank doing our bank work. Yet if I didn't bring this conversation up, I would not have known what the person behind me was feeling like, what one of the tellers were feeling like, and I might have been rude. So that's why patience is really good to keep in mind, because you don't really know what someone else is experiencing through this magnificent, magical time that we're in. Of course, we're back to the 4 energy. Why not be back to the 4 energy? That would only make sense. which is about, again, this balance, this your foundation, the foundation of your body and the foundation of everything that's going on around us, bringing things back into balance. And our heart chakra. Our heart chakra. Many of us are feeling something in the heart, whether that shows up as the heavy breathing or heart palpitation, or maybe just a sense of joy, excitement of like, wow, all this interesting stuff going on around me. Like, what the hell? So that's our first card. It's in reverse. So yes. So be easy and gentle on yourself. Second card, quite interesting, is the Queen and King, the masculine and feminine energy, which is exactly this energy that we are experiencing between the sun and the moon. Our energy in itself, being able to receive and then also being able to do. And the true energy is about our partnerships that we have with ourselves, the masculine and feminine energy. Pay attention that if you are experiencing physical ascensions, pay attention to what side of the body. As I mentioned earlier, my shoulder and my hip on the right side of my body. So that's all about being able to do, or maybe not do. Whereas if it was on the left side, it would be more my feminine energy. So pay attention to your masculine and feminine energy and see how you're allowing that to show up. Do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask for support. Sacral chakra, which is all about our inner child. And I believe Kitty mentioned this before about our Chiron moon definitely being highlighted during this time that we're in, working on healing whatever wounds that we do have, and just allowing yourself to move in that space of the confidence and your internal power that you do have because of your masculine and feminine energy. So I'm loving that. And of course, both of our cards adds up to our 6 energy, which again brings it right back to our physical body, our body system. Taking care of your body, scheduling time for your body, and just allowing yourself to be still, and also allowing yourself movement. It's extremely important for both ends. Do not spend your entire day just sitting and laying in bed. As much as you may not feel like you can do anything, maybe you're too tired, set your alarm clock and force yourself to get out of bed and move your body. Because by just laying stagnant, that's just going to allow the energy to be stagnant. You need to move. Hydration is extremely important as well. Not just water, but making sure you're getting your electrolytes in, because you do want to fuel your internal cells. And the electrolytes are extremely important right now. And that's going to help your hydration. That's going to give you the energy and even possibly eliminate some of the brain fog that you may be experiencing due to all the activations going on with our crown chakra. So, any final words you have for us, Kitty?
No, I think it's just interesting, the cards that are coming out, how they match and how they work, and that this is our soul contract. We signed up for this. We signed up for this period of time. And again, tuning into that excitement, that joy, that curiosity. What is this going to bring? It isn't that people are picking up nothing's going to happen. What is it? And this need for human beings to separate and name it all is very different than the actual energy that's coming in. So I wish everyone a lot of peace. Please make sure on Monday you take some time to think about, feel your feelings, but know that this is tapping into what is it we're creating together as a group.
Yes, and definitely hold your vision for yourself to that new version of you, because you're already at that new version of you. You don't have to become the new version of you. You're there. You just have to now start to see, and then as you see it, start to act it out, and just enjoy this time that we're experiencing. All of us are experiencing this powerful energy, this magical energy. I like to use the word magic. It's magical energy, and you are the creator. And yes, as Kitty said, we chose this particular event as part of our contracts. That's what we chose to do. We chose to be here in this lifetime. We didn't choose to come to be born in the 1900s. We chose to be here now. And there's a reason. So embrace it, have fun with it. And of course, let us know how you spend your day on Monday. and how you're feeling on Monday and what's going on for you going forward. And if you notice any of your shifts and leveling ups that's taking place for you, and be excited for your birth, because that's what this is. It's a birth. Every one of us are going to birth something by the end of this year.
And invite the activation for the highest and best possible outcome for you and for the world. So,
yes.
Anyway,
excellent.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for spending your time. Thank you for the amazing comments and questions and everything else that you shared with us tonight. Katie and I will be back again to play very soon. Until then, have an amazing night and weekend. Bye-bye for now.